Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Nomads. In today's video, I'll be interviewing another person that is also a vlogger here in Cebu City. He's also a known traveler to other different countries. So today I'll just be asking him his background story and just, for you guys to be aware of him, and you guys can follow his content as well. And without anything else, let's get into the video. So I'm here with
Alex.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's another YouTuber here. He's actually traveled to a lot of places, and we're just gonna hear his backstory. So tell him a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, my name's Alex. I'm from Toronto, Canada, and I've been traveling full-time for about 3 years. So I just travel to different places, spend a couple months in every country trying to explore the place, see all the tourist attractions, and basically live abroad. And because Canada right now is getting a little bit too expensive, and since I don't have any dependents or I'm not married or anything like that, so I figured, hey, why not try to see the world? And travel is my passion, and for the past 3 years, that's basically what I've been doing. Yeah.
So why didn't you start sooner?
I didn't start sooner because I was doing the whole 9 to 5, being a responsible adult thing. I was adulting like literally. So after school, I got a job, I got a house, I had a career. And one day I was just sitting in my office. I was a manager at a casino. I reached like the pinnacle of your career. And I just realized I wasn't happy. I'm like, I don't see myself doing this for the rest of my life. So I'm like, what is it that I want to do? And I realized recently I'd come back from Thailand. I'm like, I had a great time there. And it wasn't just for like the beaches or the parties. I'm like, I liked the way I was living there. There was just respect across the board. Cost of living was low. And I can just do whatever I wanted without worrying too much about anything. It's just a whole different lifestyle. And that's what I wanted to chase. So I quit and I started to travel, yeah.
Wow. So were there any challenges you faced during that time you were quitting from your full-time job to traveling?
Some of the challenges would be the typical things you might expect. For example, leaving family behind or not knowing where your finances are going to come from because, your savings only last so much, right? So trying to find a job that works online or you can work online. And luckily at the time I was working for a Chinese company and I was teaching English online like many of us I'm sure have started that are traveling. But when that went down, I'm just like, all right, I'm basically left on my own here to fend for myself. And at that time, I started to make some YouTube videos, and luckily right now the channel's monetized, so I can have a little bit of income through my YouTube channel.
Oh, okay. Now, what was the first country you went to start traveling to?
The first country to start traveling, well, I was traveling since I was a kid, but the first country where I was an adult and I had pure freedom by myself was Thailand. So in 2012, I went to Thailand and kind of changed my whole perspective of how life should be, right? So when I visited Thailand, I realized that's where I wanted to be, or at least live a similar lifestyle. And I couldn't do that in Canada unless I was a millionaire. So I figured, ain't nobody trying to work for the rest of my life just so I can have the things that I want in life. So yeah.
Okay, and what do you think about the Philippines? How long have you been traveling to the Philippines? What are your thoughts about it?
Yeah, this is my third time, so whoever knows me, this is my third time to the Philippines, and I love the Philippines because, I don't want to compare countries, but the Philippines gives me a whole different kind of feeling. So Thailand was more like materialistic stuff, some stuff that I liked having, like a condo or a brand new gym or something that I would never be a part of back in Canada without paying a lot of money for, right? But here in the Philippines, the number one thing is the people, 100%. The Pinoys, the Filipinos, they are number one in the world for sure. And I just made a video about that, talking about just interacting with random people. Like right now, if we look across that table and wave, they're gonna smile and wave back.
True.
And,
That's true.
So when you're at a place where they want you to be there, even the visa thing here, you can stay here for 3 years, right, without going anywhere.
True.
You can simply just extend your stay here up to 3 years. Whereas in other countries like Thailand, they'll kick you out. After 30 days, you have to extend it one time, and after 60 days, you can't be in the country anymore. So when you're living somewhere like the Philippines, where you're wanted by the people that are around you, it gives you a whole new appreciation of what family or life or just a community can be. So in that sense, Philippines is amazing. Not to mention all the beautiful beaches, of course, I know you mentioned Siargao as well. So Mualbol, Bantaya, Malapascua, Bohol, all these places that are just in Cebu vicinity. You don't have to go so far, right?
Don't really.
And the 7,000 islands. So for me to be here, I can explore this for the rest of my life and not get bored, I think.
True, that is very true. There's
Yeah.
so many things that I still want to like go travel to.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it's a really cool country. I like that.
For sure.
What about the dating culture for you?
Yeah, the dating culture for me, and now I don't have too much experience per se personally. I have met some, I have met some Filipinas just on a coffee date or to get to know them. I think dating culture here is definitely number one in the world. So a lot of my videos surround dating a little bit, one way or another, right? So when I do my street interviews and me just approaching a Filipina just to talk to them, typically they're very attractive, but they're not rude in any way. So
True.
even if they're not interested, they let you down easily. The whole idea of a relationship here, I think, is meant for love. People here date to marry. People here date to be in a committed relationship. They're not here for symbols and status or who's got the hottest boyfriend and girlfriend. None of that stuff. So here, dating is what it used to be when I was a teenager back in Canada. I feel like. So,
Okay.
but I just feel like there's gender roles, there's respect, there's mutual leadership, and you know, you need someone that supports you in life as a man, I think. Now, us men, we go through a lot of stuff that people don't usually hear about, we don't talk about. The Filipino women are supportive to the end. They're like ride or die chicks, like 100%.
Yeah, they really are. I
Yeah.
noticed that since dating here and stuff. But yeah, that's crazy that it's a huge difference from me dating back in the United States compared to here, and it's gonna be weird because I'm gonna go back in a couple days from now.
Oh,
So
okay. You're gonna go back to the U.S.
yeah, just for like maybe 6 weeks and then I'll be back.
Okay.
Because yeah, I think I'll miss it here too much.
I think so too. So when I went back to Canada just recently, a few months ago, I couldn't wait to leave. After I saw my family and friends, I'm just like, okay, let's get out of here. What are we doing? The weather was starting to turn a little cold.
Oh, shoot.
Every time I went out to eat, my wallet was like, what happened to my money, man? Because you know it's
Yeah, oh my
expensive when you
God.
try
It
to go out
really
to eat.
is.
You have to calculate for the tax, calculate for the tip, and obviously everything you starts adding up, and you're like, hey, I remember I only paid this much in the Philippines.
Yeah,
You know?
you start
So,
comparing prices.
Of course, everything I was
immediately.
doing was just like comparison. I realized the Philippines is my lifestyle right now, is what I want to be doing.
So I know you're still in your early journey of traveling, but at some point, where would you see yourself settling? Like in what country? Back in Canada, different
No,
one?
no, I don't see myself going back to Canada for a long time unless there's an emergency or a family thing. But for now, I want to be in Cebu City.
You would-
I keep coming back here for a reason. Like I
Uh-huh.
love this area specifically in IT Park or near
Yes.
Ayala itself because it has all the modern infrastructure, modern facilities, everything that I
True.
have back home, but at a fraction of the price.
Oh,
Plus,
yeah.
I'm surrounded by lovely people that want me here, people that smile, wave at me, call me Po, Kuya, all these like
Yeah.
nicknames, and they don't
Yeah.
even know me. Hello, Sir Alex. I'm like, oh, sir,
Yeah, yeah.
So anyway, so I love it here because I get first world like amenities for developing world prices, let's say, right? So why not? And everything is nearby, like I mentioned earlier. If I want to go to a beach, it's a 3-hour bus ride to any of the beaches around here, 2
True.
hours, even less. Right, Lapu-Lapu's got a couple nice beaches from what I hear. I haven't been to those ones, but everything is at my fingertips in Cebu City for sure.
And what I like is that their public transportation is like really good, and you
For
have like
sure.
variety of them. You have the taxi, you have the angkas, which are the motorcycles. You have the jeepneys, you have the public buses, and then you have ferries if you want to go to like other other islands.
Yeah,
So-
for sure. And I don't know if you've been in a taxi in the U.S. There's a big difference between getting a taxi and paying $2 to get across town. It's like $4.50 before you can step into a taxi in
Yeah.
Canada, or even $6-7. Either way.
Jesus. No, that's too expensive. I remember my Uber rides. The distance from here, IT Park, to where I live is easily $12.
Yeah, and over here, how much do you pay?
$1.
Yeah, exactly.
Or even less if I use like public transportation.
For sure. And so when you have all these things, you really start to think, who am I living life for? Myself or society's,
True.
pressure or
Yeah.
expectations and things like that. I decided to live for myself. So I'm
Mhm.
living in the Philippines. That's my choice right now.
What places have you been to here in the Philippines?
So far I've mainly traveled around the Cebu region. I went to Manila for a few days in BGC, which blew my mind, Of course, here you see a lot of the, barangays that are still developing, that are, maybe not so modern and advanced. But when I went to BGC, I couldn't believe what I was looking at. Some of the buildings there, like, amazingly advanced. Like, even the streets and the sidewalks and the design of the layout of everything. But my favorite place has to be here near Cebu, North Cebu, Malapascua. So I really love that island. It was like pure white beaches, no tourists, nobody around, just locals. and people were super friendly, and seafood is delicious and cheap, and I'm like, this is like the life. This is what people dream about. This is like paradise. So
Yeah.
for me, the bus ride was a little bumpy, but of course it's gonna be when you're traveling through the provinces, and you know how
True.
that is, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but it was an adventure. I was looking out, and we stopped by a few places. I got to try little Filipino snacks. I don't know what, not the balut.
Oh, you don't like balut?
I'm not that brave yet, so.
Oh, you haven't had it?
I'm not. Have you?
Yes,
Oh my
I
God,
love
I gotta
it.
check out that video. Have you made a video about it?
And like it was like we were on the beach, but it was like a short little skip. But I do want to make a full video of just me trying the three different baluts.
I
But
mean, we should
like
do that. I'll be the cameraman.
Yeah,
okay? You
I
can
don't
just
mind,
do
yeah.
it by yourself. So no, it was more like these little coconut pancakes with rice patty looking things.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I just don't know the name.
I don't know the name either, but you get so many of them for like a discount price, and I was just eating them till my stomach hurt, like, and they're warm. And
Yeah.
anyway, so the whole journey, although bumpy, was really exciting for me to see the local life, the local living, the province life. I haven't really done the province life yet.
Mhm.
I want to go there and just live a few days with someone or some place that I can actually experience waking up to roosters and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's very exciting.
It's funny because the first night that I did that, I'm waking up to roosters. Like that's your alarm clock. It's
Yeah.
not your phone. It's the roosters waking you up. Which
Nature
is,
saying, "Get your ass
yeah,
up." That's it. Wake up.
basically.
Start your day, man.
But yeah, so have you had any of the foods here in Philippines?
I have. You know, I don't know the names of it particularly. I know sisig and like lumpia
Okay, so
but
like
like
the basics.
the thing is, I don't eat pork,
Okay, that's fair.
and I'm not like the biggest fan of seafood. I'll eat it if it's fresh and if it's there. But so that kind of cuts out a lot of the Filipino foods, right? When you don't
True.
eat pork and you don't eat seafood, it's like, come on, man, what are you gonna eat, right? So when I first came here, I'll be honest, it took me a few weeks, or I'll say even longer, to get used to Filipino cuisine, right? But now, yeah, I love it. Like we stopped by some local, like Sugbo Mercado. I don't know what I'm eating. I'm just pointing at pictures, right? I can't remember the names of them. I know I should start learning. But yeah, I like the Filipino food now for sure.
Okay, that's good
Yeah.
because I've met foreigners where they just like, no, I'm not gonna eat that. That doesn't look like what I know, so I'm just gonna skip
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I know. I was one of those guys, you know. To be
Oh,
honest, like I
okay.
mean, I didn't skip it. I tried it, but I think because I prefer more spicy foods,
True.
Filipino.
Everything here's sweet.
It's a bit sweet and savory, a little bit more sour with the vinegar and the soy sauce that we use.
That's actually more understandable.
Yeah, so my palate was just confused, but now that I know where to eat and how to eat, and some of the people that make local dishes, like for example, I met with another YouTuber, Sunshine Shoulders Calvin, and he invited me to his place, and his wife's or his girlfriend's mom cooked the meal. I'm still thinking about the taste, you know. So that's like real authentic grandma cooking food in the
Okay.
Philippines. That I'm just like, this is delicious. Yeah.
Wow, well, that's crazy.
Yeah, man, everything's great here. I love it.
Okay, so your overall experience in the Philippines out of 10, like what would you rate it?
Overall experience out of 10, I'd have to give it a 9 out of 10, just because there's really nothing I can really talk, not negative, but there's nothing that bothers me in my regular day-to-day life, you know. There's no trouble, there's no struggle. I'm fortunate enough to be earning like foreign currency spending in pesos, so I know if you're local, it's not as easy. Like, you know, I'm not blind. I don't just like pretend nothing happens outside of here. But for me, I feel very comfortable here. I feel welcomed here. I think the people are fantastic. I can't see anything wrong with this place. I give it a 9 because I just don't think there's a perfect place anywhere,
Yeah,
right? So
sure.
for me, I couldn't ask for anything. Maybe just the internet connectivity once in a while, but I mean, you're on an island. What do you want, right? So aside from that, even that, because just wait a few minutes, it gets back to regular speed, or you have all these cafes, workspaces, so there's options.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I'll give it a 9 out of 10.
Okay.
Sure.
Now you have a YouTube, so you can just tell them a little bit about yourself on your YouTube, what you do, and yeah, just throw your and I'll put it on the video.
Sure, yeah, of course. So my YouTube channel is called Living Abroad, and what I usually do content is about street interviews. I like to randomly approach people, ask their thoughts about different things, and of course travel content. So whenever I travel to different countries, I post what I find is either entertaining or informative. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Well, thank you again, Alex.
My pleasure. Thank
No
you for having me
problem.
on the channel.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
And then that'll be all. So I will put all his stuff linked in the description. As always, go to his channel, look it up, and as always, like, comment, share, subscribe, and see you guys in my next
Yeah,
video.
guys, show some love. You know, he's just starting out, but I
Yeah.
think he's doing a great job being very authentic and showing a different side of, you know, maybe you don't see usually about Filipino videos. A younger man, you know, he's in his early 20s, so maybe you guys get a different perspective, not just about retired guys here in the Philippines, right? I'm gonna be one of them soon, maybe. So
Maybe,
either way,
yeah.
so of course subscribe and like, share this video for sure.